Imagine waking up every morning feeling like you're living the same day over and over again. The same thoughts, the same emotions, the same routines. You want to change, you want to grow, but something keeps pulling you back into the familiar. You tell yourself, tomorrow, I'll start fresh. But tomorrow comes and nothing is different. Why? Because change isn't something that happens to you, it's something you must create. Most people wait for the right moment, the right opportunity, or the right feeling before they take action. But what if I told you that real progress doesn't start with your circumstances? It starts with you. It starts the moment you take control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, no matter what happening around you. The truth is, every single day holds an opportunity to move forward, to evolve, to step into the person you're meant to be. But to do that, you have to break free from the habits, patterns, and beliefs that have kept you stuck. You have to stop waiting for change and start creating it. So today, let's break the cycle. Let's step beyond the limits of yesterday and learn how to make progress every single day, no matter what. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. Every single moment, whether you realize it or not, you are creating the blueprint of your future through the thoughts you entertain. The mind is not just a passive observer of reality. What you repeatedly think about, you begin to believe. What you believe, you start to feel. What you feel, you act upon. And what you act upon becomes the life you live. This is why true transformation starts at the level of thought. If you want to create progress every day, you must begin by mastering the inner world of your mind. The brain is a complex network of neurons that communicate with each other through electrical signals. Every time you think a thought, you activate specific neural circuits. The more you think the same thought, the stronger that neural connection becomes. It's like walking a path through a field of tall grass. The first time you walk through, it's difficult. The grass is thick, the path is unclear. But if you walk that same path every single day, eventually it becomes a well-worn trail. This is how habits form in the brain. When you repeatedly think in a certain way, you carve a pathway in your mind, making it easier for your brain to default to those same thoughts in the future. Most people live unconsciously, thinking the same thoughts they did yesterday, feeling the same emotions, and therefore creating the same reality. If yesterday they thought I'm not good enough, then today their brain will automatically present them with the same thought. If yesterday they believed things never work out for me, then today their brain will continue running that program. Without awareness, they stay trapped in an endless loop, recreating the past over and over again. But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You have the power to change them, and by doing so, you change your life. The key is to become conscious of what you are thinking and to deliberately choose thoughts that align with the future you desire. This is where daily progress begins. The first step is awareness. Throughout your day, start noticing your habitual thoughts. Pay attention to the inner dialogue running through your mind. Are your thoughts empowering or are they keeping you stuck? Are they aligned with the person you want to become or are they reinforcing the person you were? The moment you become aware of a thought that does not serve you, you gain the power to change it. Once you recognize a thought that is not in alignment with your highest self, you must consciously replace it with a new one. If your mind tells you, I'm not capable, stop and choose a different thought. I am learning and growing every day. If your brain says, nothing ever changes, shift it to, every day I am making progress. In the beginning, these new thoughts might feel unnatural. That's because your brain is wired for the old way of thinking. But just like walking a new path through a field, the more you consciously think these new thoughts, the stronger those neural pathways become. Eventually, they become the new default. Thoughts alone, however, are not enough. They must be backed by feeling. A thought without emotion is like a seed planted in dry soil. It struggles to take root. But when you combine thought with feeling, you activate the deeper layers of your brain, signaling to your body that this thought is real. If you think, I am successful, but you feel doubt, then the emotion overrides the thought. But if you think, I am successful, and you feel the excitement, gratitude, and certainty of that success, then your body begins to believe it. Your brain starts producing the chemicals that match that state, and suddenly you are no longer just thinking it. You are experiencing it. This is how change happens. When you think and feel in alignment with your desired future, your brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. It begins to rewire itself to reflect that new state of being. And once your brain is wired for success, for growth, for progress, your actions naturally follow. You wake up feeling motivated. You take inspired action. You make choices that align with your vision. Progress stops being something you force and starts being something you embody. But if you let your old thoughts dominate your mind, then nothing changes. If you keep waking up thinking the same way you did yesterday, you will continue living the same life you lived yesterday. The key to daily progress is to wake up every morning and consciously choose the thoughts that serve you. If you want a different future, you must begin thinking from that future, not from the past. You must train your mind to see possibilities instead of limitations, to focus on solutions instead of problems, and to generate emotions that match the life you are creating. Most people wait for something external to change before they think differently. They wait for success before they feel confident. They wait for love before they feel whole. They wait for healing before they feel gratitude. But that is living backwards. To make real progress, you must think greater than your circumstances. You must generate the thoughts and emotions of the future you desire now, because the moment you do, you step into a new reality. And when you commit to this practice every single day, no matter what, your life will begin to transform. Emotions are the fuel of change. Every thought you think creates a biochemical reaction in the brain, which then signals the body to feel a certain way. When you have a thought, your brain releases neurotransmitters that create an emotional response. That emotion then reinforces a thought, creating a continuous loop. Over time, this cycle becomes automatic, shaping your personality, habits, and ultimately your reality. This is why most people find themselves stuck in the same emotional states day after day, unable to break free from old patterns. They wake up in the morning and immediately recall their problems, their stresses, and their worries. The moment they do this, they activate the same neural pathways that have been wired through repetition, and their body responds by producing the same familiar emotions: frustration, anxiety, fear, or doubt. And without realizing it, they are already living in the past. Your body does not know the difference between an experience that is real and one that is imagined. If you think about a past event that made you angry or hurt, your brain releases the same chemicals as if you were experiencing it in the present moment. Your heart rate changes, your muscles tense, and your body enters the same physiological state. This means that every time you recall a negative experience, you are reliving it, not just mentally, but physically. Your body is trapped in the past, and as long as you continue to feel those emotions, you will keep creating the same reality. But here's the truth. You have the power to generate new emotions, and by doing so, you can change your future. Instead of letting past emotions dictate your present, you can intentionally create the emotions that align with the life you want to live. This is the secret to making progress every day, no matter what. Most people believe they need something external to change before they can feel different. They think, once I achieve success, then I'll feel confident. Once I find love, then I'll feel whole. Once I heal, then I'll feel gratitude. But this is living backwards. If you wait for something outside of you to change before you feel better, you are giving away your power. True progress happens when you generate the emotions of your desired future before it has even manifested. Instead of waiting for success to feel empowered, you feel empowered now. Instead of waiting for love to feel fulfilled, you embody that fulfillment now. Instead of waiting for healing to feel gratitude, you cultivate gratitude now. When you do this, your brain and body begin to rewire themselves to reflect this new emotional state, and you start attracting opportunities, people, and circumstances that match that energy. The science behind this is simple. When you repeatedly feel an emotion, your brain strengthens the neural pathways associated with it. If you constantly feel stressed, you reinforce the neural networks of stress. If you consistently feel joy, you strengthen the neural networks of joy. Over time, these emotional states become more automatic, shaping the way you think, act, and perceive the world. This is why people who practice gratitude daily tend to experience more things to be grateful for. Your brain is wired to notice opportunities rather than obstacles, blessings rather than burdens. The challenge, of course, is that the body is addicted to familiar emotions. If you have spent years feeling anxious, worried, or unworthy, your body has become conditioned to those states. It craves them, just like a drug. The moment you try to break free and generate new emotions, your body resists. It will send signals urging you to return to what is familiar. You might hear an inner voice whisper, "This isn't real. This won't last. Go back to what you know." But this is the moment where change happens. Instead of falling back into old emotional habits, you must teach your body a new way of being. One of the most effective ways to do this is through mental rehearsal. Every morning, take time to close your eyes and imagine the emotions of your future self. Feel the excitement, the confidence, the joy, as if you have already achieved everything you desire. Let those emotions flood your body until they become real. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your brain will rewire itself to make this your default emotional state. Another key is to interrupt negative emotional patterns the moment they arise. When you catch yourself slipping into stress, frustration, or fear, stop and shift your focus. Ask yourself, what emotion would my future self be feeling right now? Then generate that emotion on demand. This is not about suppressing feelings or ignoring challenges. It's about training your body to operate from a new baseline of emotional strength. The more you practice this, the more your external world will begin to shift. People will start responding to you differently. Opportunities will arise seemingly out of nowhere. The things you once struggled with will become effortless. And it's not magic, it's the result of training your mind and body to operate at a higher emotional frequency. Your mind and body are wired for familiarity. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take is part of a deeply ingrained pattern that has been repeated so many times that it has become automatic. This is why so many people find themselves stuck in the same habits, making the same choices, and experiencing the same struggles day after day. They wake up in the morning and immediately start thinking about their problems. They remember past failures, disappointments, and fears. Without realizing it, they are stepping right back into the same mental and emotional state they were in yesterday, and because they feel the same way, they behave the same way. They make the same decisions, take the same actions, and ultimately create the same results. This cycle happens because the brain is designed for efficiency. The subconscious mind stores all of your repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors so that you don't have to consciously think about them. This is helpful for things like walking, driving, or brushing your teeth, but when it comes to personal growth, it can keep you trapped in the past. If you are not consciously choosing new thoughts and behaviors, your subconscious mind will default to what is familiar. Even if what is familiar is holding you back, the body also plays a role in keeping you stuck. Every emotion you have ever felt has created chemical signals in your brain that your body has learned to recognize. If you have spent years living in stress, worry, or self-doubt, your body has become addicted to those emotions. Just like a drug, your body craves what is familiar, and when you try to change, it will resist. This is why when you decide to break an old habit or start a new one, you often feel discomfort, resistance, or even physical tension. Your body is trying to pull you back into the known because it feels safer there. The key to making progress every day is to break free from the familiar self, the version of you that has been shaped by past experiences, past emotions, and past limitations. You cannot create a new future while living in the emotions and thoughts of the past. You must wake up each day and consciously decide who you want to be, rather than letting your old self dictate your actions. This requires stepping into the unknown, a place where your mind and body are no longer running on autopilot. One of the most powerful ways to break free from the familiar self is to interrupt the patterns of the past. The moment you wake up, before your mind has a chance to pull you into yesterday's thoughts, you must take control. Instead of reaching for your phone, checking emails, or thinking about your to-do list, take a few moments to sit in stillness. Ask yourself, who do I want to be today? What thoughts do I want to think? What emotions do I want to feel? By doing this, you are overriding the automatic programming of your subconscious mind and setting a new intention for the day. Throughout the day, you must remain aware of when your old self tries to take over. The moment you catch yourself falling into a familiar thought pattern, whether it's self doubt, fear, or frustration, you have a choice. You can let that thought pull you back into your past, or you can interrupt it and choose a new thought. The same goes for emotions. If you notice yourself feeling stressed or overwhelmed, stop and ask yourself, is this how my future self would feel? If the answer is no, then take a deep breath, shift your focus, and generate the emotion that aligns with the person you are becoming. Breaking free from the familiar self also requires changing the way you act. Your actions are a direct reflection of your identity. If you continue to behave in the same ways, you will reinforce the same patterns in your brain and body. If you want to create a new reality, you must start making different choices. This doesn't mean making huge, drastic changes overnight. It means making small, conscious choices that align with your vision for the future. For example, if your familiar self tends to procrastinate, then today you take action immediately. If your familiar self avoids challenges, then today you face them head on. If your familiar self operates from fear, then today you choose courage. These small daily decisions create new neural pathways in the brain, rewiring you to think, feel, and act like the person you are becoming. It is uncomfortable at first because your mind and body will fight to return to what is familiar. But discomfort is a sign that you are stepping beyond the known into the realm of possibility. Most people retreat when they feel this discomfort, thinking it means something is wrong. But in reality, it is the greatest sign of growth. If you push through, if you continue making decisions from the perspective of your future self, your brain will begin to adapt. The unfamiliar will become familiar. The new thoughts, emotions, and behaviors you have been practicing will become second nature. And over time, without even realizing it, you will have completely transformed. Your environment is a reflection of your internal state. And if you want to make progress every day, you must become aware of how your surroundings influence your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Most people live their lives unconsciously responding to the conditions around them. They wake up in the same bed, in the same house, surrounded by the same people, checking the same phone, reading the same news, and following the same routine. Without realizing it, they are reinforcing the same neurological patterns in their brain, causing them to think, feel, and act the same way they did yesterday. This cycle creates a predictable future, one that is identical to the past. Every object, every sound, every person in your environment carries an association with it. The moment you see your phone, you may feel the urge to check messages, social media, or emails. When you step into your office, you may immediately feel stress or pressure because of past experiences associated with that space. When you talk to a certain friend or coworker, you may find yourself complaining, gossiping, or reinforcing an identity that does not align with the person you want to become. These unconscious triggers shape your daily life, keeping you in a loop of familiar thoughts and emotions. If you want to create lasting change and make progress every day, you must learn to master your environment instead of letting it master you. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to the things in your environment that influence your state of mind. Notice the habits that are triggered by certain objects or places. Recognize the emotions that arise when you interact with different people. Observe how external factors, such as the news, social media, or even background noise, affect your mental state. Once you become aware of these influences, you gain the power to change them. The next step is to consciously design an environment that supports your growth. If you want to change your thoughts, change what you expose your mind to. If your goal is to cultivate a more positive mindset, stop consuming negative news and start filling your mind with inspiring books, uplifting music, or powerful affirmations. If you want to be more productive, eliminate distractions from your workspace and create a setting that encourages focus and efficiency. If you want to feel more at peace, bring elements of calmness into your surroundings, whether that's soft lighting, soothing colors, or a clean and organized space. People are one of the most powerful aspects of your environment. The energy of those around you directly impacts your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain, doubt, and live in fear, it will be difficult for you to break free from those same emotional patterns. On the other hand, if you spend time with individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to grow, you will naturally rise to a higher level. Evaluate the relationships in your life. Who do you spend the most time with? Do they encourage your growth or do they keep you anchored to the past? If you find that certain relationships are holding you back, you must make a conscious decision to limit your exposure to those influences. You don't have to completely cut people out of your life, but you do have to set boundaries and prioritize your own growth. Changing your environment also means stepping into new experiences. If you continue going to the same places, having the same conversations, and doing the same activities, your brain will keep firing the same neural circuits, making it difficult to create new possibilities. To break this pattern, you must expose yourself to the unfamiliar. Travel to new places, even if it's just a different route to work. Try new activities that challenge you. Engage in conversations with people who have different perspectives. Every time you do something new, you activate different areas of your brain, opening yourself up to new ways of thinking and being. One of the most effective ways to shift your environment is through visualization. The brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself in a new environment, one that aligns with the life you want to create, your brain begins wiring itself for that reality. If you consistently practice this, your subconscious mind will start seeking out opportunities and experiences that match the vision you have created. Over time, this imagined environment will become your external reality. Most people believe that their environment controls them, but the truth is, you have the power to shape your surroundings in a way that supports your highest potential. The key is to become intentional about what you allow into your space, physically, mentally, and emotionally. When you master your environment, you create a foundation for continuous growth and transformation.